For that matter, want to welcome in Tal Heinrich, an Israeli journalist and also a television host. So these attacks, Tal, are starting to get a lot more attention right now. We want to show you a tweet from President Biden today. He had this saying that condemning the violence. The recent attacks on the Jewish community are despicable and they must stop. And it's up to all of us to give hate no safe harbor. There have been complaints, Tal, about why it's taken so long to condemn this particular violence. It started last week.
Well, these are very important words coming from the president. I am very concerned, just like you, Joe, I know, following all these anti-Semitic incidents taking place, not only here in New York, but also how slurs and slogans, anti-Semitic ones, are becoming more and more common, and how anti-Zionism, which I personally consider as a form of anti-Semitism, is also becoming institutionalized on college campuses, for example, in student bodies, and so on. I will say that mainly those people that we're seeing attacked in the streets right now, the pictures that you're now showing are Jews that are identifiable, visibly Jewish, or institutions like synagogues, for example, people wearing the yarmulke. But I am a target just like any other Jewish person. I have people here, my friends in New York, who keep telling me that they are afraid to speak Hebrew in the streets or on the subway. And I will add this. What I find mostly sad about it all, Joe, is this is the year 2021. And some Jewish Israelis like myself say that they feel generally safer being in Israel, even under a rocket attack, than being in prominent major cities across the Western world, like New York, Los Angeles, Paris, or even London. So it shows you that over the course of hundreds of years, the world hasn't changed enough when it comes to anti-Semitism. And you're right, we're too slow to condemn it. And sometimes we are too slow to recognize it. When anti-Semitic people resort to violence, then it's very evident, very easy for us to point them out. But that is not always the case.
The other thing that stood out to us is the fact that most of this is happening in the U.S. days after there was a ceasefire in the Middle East. Why do you think it's flaring up now here?
Well, personally, I see the latest escalation between Gaza and Israel as a pretext for anti-Semitic people to just reveal their true colors. But again, violence is not always the case, and the timing is not always the timing. It's just the focus that we are putting on it right now, which is good. But you know how I define anti-Semitism and where I draw the line between legitimate criticism of the state of Israel, which is very natural after such an escalation in the Middle East, and true anti-Semitism. I think if you hold the Jewish people, for example, to higher standards, or judge the Jewish nation by different standards than you judge other nations, then it's anti-Semitism. That's what we're often, very unfortunately, seeing it play at the United Nations. Or when you say that you don't believe that Jewish people have a right to their own free Jewish country, then it's anti-Semitism. For that reason, I personally see a chant like "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" as anti-Semitic, because what it does is basically it calls to remove the Jews from the entire territory, or the Jewish state from the entire territory, from the Mediterranean to the Jordanian River. So I think it's what the president said is very important. And also on Friday, I think these remarks have gotten a bit less of attention, is when he said that there will never be peace in the Middle East unless the region recognizes the right of the Jews to their own free, independent state. And I think that the president shows that he understands the main impediment to peace, unlike other members of his own party, unfortunately.
Tal Heinrich, Israeli journalist and TV host. Thanks for your time, Tal. Good to see you.
Thank you.